Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Haven't been here in a while. Actually, may have a upcoming move, and I don't know all the details about that, so it's kind of taking precedence. So if I disappear for a few weeks, that'll be why. But anyway, ADHD is our main focus today. We've got over 650 audios available. I think over 700 now available for your listening pleasure. And if you are looking for coaching, life, relationship, or business coaching, would love to be of service to you in 2021 and beyond. So if that's you, would love to be of service to you in that way. So today we're going to talk about ADHD and some of the challenges therein. If you're looking for coaching, though, please feel free to reach out at the About Me section of this YouTube page, or also on Twitter at PO Perception. Either way will get you where you need to be. ADHD hyperfocus is a major challenge. Hyperfocus is being focused on one thing to the exclusion of all other things, almost being in a zone to the point of not thinking about other things. And that hyperfocus can be something as simple as getting down a rabbit trail on the internet. It can be something as complicated as trying to solve a specific problem. But it's also a form of rumination in that the repetitive loop of thought and emotion become a main focus for the person who is trying to um, kind of find a solution or find a fix for whatever's going on. And it becomes challenging because a lot of times with that comes an exclusion to other things, even daily tasks like eating, sleeping, and other important things. The forgetting of those things and the challenge of the forgetfulness can cause a lot of challenges and emotional, I won't say instabilities, but certainly emotional um, upsets when the schedule is changed. And so it becomes extremely difficult to handle kind of dealing with the emotions related to any of that stuff. The next thing is inability to focus. So a lot of people think of ADHD as only inability to focus, but the reality is it's both. Either one becomes so hyper focused on something that they drain their energy, or they switch from thing to thing to thing because the ability to lock in on something and find it interesting or find it compelling. And there is a neurosynaptic functional aspect to why that shift in focus doesn't really fully work. And so what happens is a person has a lot of difficulty in being able to find balance and positivity and meaningfulness and long-term affect and all of that. Unfortunately, people often have difficulty because by the time they realize they have that issue, they've lost a lot in their life, or they've been so impulsive, which is actually the next point of focus here, and that's impulsivity. Impulsivity as it relates to everything from sexuality to gambling to spending to having difficulty with conversations, having difficulty with, um, you know, um, how to proceed, having difficulty with what to do next, or having difficulty with linear thinking. All of these things can lead to impulsive behavior that has a long term effect, usually negative. Um, and it's not necessarily um, a good thing all the time, although learning to understand that impulsivity is an issue is important for the overall growth of the individual, and finding ways to manage impulsivity without becoming so negative towards oneself that, you know, self-hatred is there or self-loathing is there is also important. Disorganization is another factor in that process, and disorganization is just the inability to string things together in a linear way that causes a lot of mental and emotional anguish because one sets out to accomplish something or group of tasks, and finding that which is to be done first and where to get started becomes overwhelming. And so when that piece becomes overwhelming, what then follows is the emotional paralysis of being able to make a decision about where to decide on something. That becomes almost damaging because a person begins to feel like they are a personal failure, or they're in a negative space, or they don't know how to fix whatever it is they have going on. And so then the paralysis also becomes, how does one fix themselves? How does one fix their view of themselves, and or make a intelligent enough decision to be able to get to a place where the decisions they're making are both linear and important enough to get to where a person wants to continue forward and kind of continue with the fight. So there's challenges in that regard too. This can lead to lack of motivation when a person feels they never get anything done, or the concept at least is, what I get done never feels like enough. The illusion of competition that I am never enough, or what I accomplish is never enough, ultimately becomes problematic for a number of reasons, because the disorganization causes a person to have a negative view of themselves, then the inability to continue to make decisions that are leading towards something positive or progressive becomes overwhelming. Then the lack of motivation is there because the mood swings of I can handle this, no I can't, yes I can, no I can't become predominant. So in the end, that becomes problematic for a number of reasons. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.